This video is brought to you by Spigen. Last year, I titled my iPhone 14 review, Is It Enough? And that was because compared to the iPhone 13, the iPhone 14 was such a small upgrade that for most people, I recommended saving some cash and buying the iPhone 13 instead. However, this year with the iPhone 15, well, this year things are different. The iPhone 15 may look similar on the outside, but if we look a little bit closer, we'll find that the iPhone 15 brings valuable upgrades to the design, display, camera, and performance, and this makes it one of the biggest upgrades to the non-Pro iPhone that we've seen in years. But still, I do have my gripes with this phone, which I'll be also sharing today, so if you are thinking of buying the iPhone 15, then this video is going to be covering everything you need to know. But first, I am doing a giveaway on this brand new iPhone 15 Pro, and if you want a chance to win, be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your favorite feature of the iPhone 15 along with your Instagram username, and then follow me on Instagram at Dion Schuddeboom, where I'll announce the winner on the 31st of October. Okay, so the iPhone 15 comes in at $799 or 799 pounds, which is the same price in the US, but it's now actually a little bit cheaper here in the UK, and still starts with 128 gigabytes, which I do believe will be enough for most. Now, let's talk about the color. This year's color collection is very light, so I opted to go for the blue, and while it may be barely blue, I do still think it looks very clean, but of course, for those that want a more understated option, the 15 also comes in classic black. Compared to last year's iPhone 14, the iPhone 15 brings some really neat design changes that really add up. So the back now uses a matte glass finish, which I think not only looks a lot better, also feels a lot better to the touch and does a much better job at resisting fingerprints, especially in these lighter colors. But my favorite design change actually lies in the aluminum frame, which unlike the sharp and angled frame that we've been used to for years, the iPhone 15 features a still flat but slightly rounded frame right by the edges, and this really makes a world of difference. Picking up the iPhone 14, it immediately feels more ergonomic and comfortable in the hand, especially if you're holding it for longer periods, and you no longer get that digging feeling in your palm. You know what I mean. One feature unfortunately not brought to the regular 15, and that is exclusive to the 15 Pros, is that action button. Now, I'm currently testing the iPhone 15 Pro for my review, and already I can say I really like this feature and do miss it on the regular 15, but still the regular good old mute switch still works fine. The iPhone 15 is IPX86 water resistant, so you can still comfortably use it out in the rain without any worries, though I still wouldn't recommend going swimming with it. Another big change this year is the switch from Lightning over to USB-C, and this means you can basically use one charger for all of your tech and even use your friend's Android charger to charge your iPhone. Crazy, I know. In all seriousness, I welcome this change. It means that the iPhone finally uses a universal standard and goes a long way to future-proofing this phone. Plus, you can actually plug in accessories like a keyboard, hard drive, or even a display now without any adapters. And fun fact, you can now even charge your AirPods and your Apple Watch or even another phone through this USB-C port. I think you'll agree that while on the outside the iPhone 15 isn't radically different, but these small changes in the design do really add up, from the matte glass to the rounded frame, USB-C port, and this help makes the iPhone 15 feel like a much bigger upgrade compared to previous years. And like the design, the display got some valuable new features too. So the biggest of which is the dynamic island, which is a handy way to display app information such as timers, directions, or AirDrop progress, and lets you quickly switch between apps as well. I gotta say, from using it last year on the 14 Pros, it's become something that I genuinely enjoy using and miss on phones that don't have it, so I'm glad to see it here on the iPhone 15. Like last year's iPhone 14, the iPhone 15 comes in two sizes. So for the regular model, we have 6.1 inches, and then for the 15 Plus, we get 6.7 inches. Now, the difference though is that this year, the bezels going around the display are noticeably slimmer, and this is great. I think it makes the device look and feel more modern, but also means you get the same display size in an ever so slightly smaller phone size, which is great, especially if you're going for that larger Plus model. Another display upgrade is the brightness, which now goes all the way up to 2000 nits, which is double that of the previous iPhone 14 and is now on par with the 15 Pros. And this makes a really big difference, especially when you're out in the sun, where the 15's display is not just bright enough, but is always legible. But I do have one, or actually two, pretty big gripes when it comes to the display of the iPhone 15. And the first is that it is still a 60 Hz panel. And this means that the display is noticeably less smooth when compared to the 120 Hz displays that you get on, say, the Galaxy S23 or the 15 Pros. Now, if you're already used to a 60 Hz display, the 60 Hz display on the iPhone 15 will be no different. But if you are coming from a 120 or even a 90Hz display, the 60Hz screen on the iPhone 15 will feel a bit choppy and just not as smooth. Now, don't get me wrong, by no means would I consider this to be a deal breaker, but for $800, I would have liked to see at least a 90Hz refresh rate on what is otherwise a truly great display. Now, my second small but relatively noticeable gripe as well is the scratch resistance. Now, over time, iPhone displays have become more crack resistant, and this is great, but the iPhone 15's display, like on the 14 and also on the 13, is very easily scratched. And from just the past 2 weeks of using and testing this phone, I already have several scratches on the display, so I definitely recommend you get a screen protector, and I'll be sure to leave my recommended screen protector down in the description. Now, before we talk about cameras, performance, and battery life, and discuss whether it's worth upgrading to the iPhone 15 and for who, it is essential to protect your brand new phone, and this is where Spigen has you covered. Now, to demonstrate the capability of the Tough Armor MagFit case, I'm actually going to do a drop test, and I must admit, this was not easy to do. Alright, so we're going to do the drop test. So I have 2 tests planned here. For the first one, I'm going to just knock it off this chair onto the stone floor. So here we go. There we go. Take a closer look, and as you can see, it is held up perfectly fine. Screen is still functioning, no cracks or any signs of damage. Now we're gonna raise the stakes a little. Let's say you take your phone out of your pocket and it slips as you do so. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in my pocket. And then 3, 2, 1. Right on the corner. Let's have a look. And up close here, voila. And the screen is protected. There we go. All good, no damage whatsoever to the display, the back, and even the case itself looks really great. Not only does the Tough Armor MagFit case protect your phone, it also has a built-in stand, which is ideal for watching videos on the go or for making video calls. Now, during the drop test, for an extra layer of protection, I also added the EaseFit Glass TR Slim Screen Protector, which has oil-resistant coatings and a 9H hardness for excellent scratch protection. Spigen also offer their popular Hybrid 01 case for the iPhone 15, and as of early October, it also now comes in white, which I think pairs perfectly with my blue iPhone. And then for a more minimal look, the thin fit cases are ideal. They come in a range of colors, and the coated plastic creates such a nice feel in the hand while still keeping a slim profile and protecting your phone from daily wear. To learn more about this excellent line of cases from Spigen, be sure to head to the links in the description. And this brings me to the cameras, one of the most important parts of any phone, and the iPhone 15 has a new 48 megapixel sensor which allows for higher detail 24 megapixel photos. And this is a big step up compared to the iPhone 14's 12 megapixel sensor. I mean, check out these comparisons. The results speak for themselves. The iPhone 15 produces excellent photos with high dynamic range and colors that pop while still giving a true to life look. What I found particularly interesting was that even when compared to last year's flagship iPhone 14 Pro, which also has a 48 megapixel sensor, the iPhone 15 still manages to outperform it with better detail and sharpness as seen here. This is thanks to improved computational photography on the iPhone 15. Really impressive. While the iPhone 15 may not have a third telephoto lens like the 14 Pro or 15 Pro, thanks to the larger main sensor, it does now have the 2x telephoto option, and I love this focal length. Even on my previous iPhone 14 Pro Max, I use the 2x more than the 3x, and this is because the 2x uses the main 48 megapixel sensor and thus creates a better image. So I'm really glad to see this come to the iPhone 15. Also new, when the iPhone 15 detects a human or pet in the photo, it will automatically capture the depth info, and this allows you to turn any photo into a portrait photo after the fact. You can then even change the focus point and adjust the depth control, adding new layers to how you can edit your photos right on your phone. Now, iPhones are known for being the king of smartphone video, and the iPhone 15 only solidifies that stance further. 4K 60 FPS footage is sharp, and it smoothly adjusts the focus and exposure, something many smartphones still struggle with. Plus, action mode is now also improved for an even smoother image, producing a gimbal-like video without the need of a gimbal. Overall, I'm really impressed by the camera system on the iPhone 15. It is a big upgrade compared to last year's iPhone 14 and is even better than the 14 Pro, and I think this says a lot. It is a camera system that can be relied on to deliver excellent quality photos and videos time and time again. Powering the iPhone 15 is the A16 chip. Now, this is the same chip from last year's iPhone 14 Pros, and in benchmarks, the A16 is around 20% faster than the iPhone 14's A15. And this shows. During day-to-day use, the iPhone 15 is super fast, snappy, and keeps up well. Even when gaming or photo editing, I never feel like I'm pushing it to its limits. Apps also stay open for very long in the background, and switching between apps is truly seamless. You really get flagship performance. Not just great performance today, but also for the future. Now, Apple are known for providing extensive software support and updates, and I would expect the iPhone 15 to get another 5 to 6 years of software support. Now, this is 1 to 2 years less than the A17 Pro chip and the 15 Pro series, but is still 1 to 2 years more than even the best you'll find on the Android side. For me, battery life on the iPhone 15 has been similar to the iPhone 14, which is to say I usually get all-day battery life with say around 7 hours of screen on time with mixed use, and through USB-C, the iPhone 15 can charge at up to 20 watts, which I would consider to be semi-fast. Charging from 0 to 50% takes 30 minutes, and then 0 to 100 in just under 1.5 hours. Yes, from one side, 30 or say 40 watt charging would be nice, but to be honest, since the battery life is already quite strong, I find myself usually charging at night, which is when charge speeds don't really matter as much. And then during the day on my desk, if I ever do need a top up, I have a MagSafe charger. Now this isn't new for the iPhone 15, but if you are coming from an older iPhone, this feature may be new to you, and this uses strong magnets, so automatically aligns your phone, and I think is still the best way to wirelessly charge while still keeping your phone upright and docked to keep an eye on notifications while you work. Now for that big ultimate question, should you upgrade? Is that balanced? I think so. So even though the iPhone 15 is a big upgrade over the iPhone 14, if you are on the iPhone 14, you shouldn't upgrade to the 15. What is more important is if say you're on an iPhone 8, 10 or 11, the question is, do you save roughly $100 and get the iPhone 14, which is now going to be a little bit more affordable, or do you spend that bit extra and get the iPhone 15? And well, the answer here is easy. In my opinion, you should spend the extra $100 and get the iPhone 15. Trust me. With its new design, better display, improved cameras, faster performance and more longevity, and of course USB-C, the iPhone 15 is an upgrade in some of the most important areas of any smartphone. And I think if you are due for an upgrade, this is one of the best times to do so. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, let me know if you have any questions at all, and be sure to subscribe to not miss my upcoming iPhone 15 versus Galaxy S23 comparison video, and of course, lots more iPhone 15 series content coming very soon. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.